Could the rock be a female to male in the same context of, the male to female of the A-list actor and actresses of the Shakespearean world play in shape, just like the inversion, like the milkshake of the Aphrodite, Oceanius, Ocean, Seminal Foam, Ocean, Beyonce, Mariah Carey, Whitney Houston, to the make the stallion of the just hippocampal pineal amygdala climb of Miley Cyrus, Destiny Hope, and the Britney Spears, and just the whole Artemis of the Punarvasu that everything always comes back to, the eye. So I was thinking, like, okay, if in the context of a male to female, when Venus is impaired and the Mars principle is castrated, us knowing that they tell us Mars is exalted in Capricorn, which is also very interesting. In Danishta nakshatra, no less. So even that is very interesting. Everything Claire Nakti said about Mars dominant women versus Venus dominant men, and how she picked it up in the typecasting and the, like, check out her videos for more on that. But yeah, like, she expressed that Venus dominant men have big dick energy, which was very interesting because it was like on Shrek again. You think he's compensating for something. So, yeah, the Lord Fuckwads of the world, right? So it just made me think of like The Rock, and not trying to take a dump on him, on his chest. But do you guys perhaps see it? Like, because in the female to male transition, they would be able to like allow certain growths to take place, and then introduce certain hormones and androgynes in particular. And it just made me think of like the constrictive force of, or like the sword carving of the drishti of Venus, and combining that with the constrictive force of Saturn and their connection via Uranus and form. Everything Clay Nakti said about ethereal features versus like Saturnian features versus like Jupiterian features. Like, the Jupiterian features are much more expansive, wide set, high foreheads, rounded, yeah, this, which is just interesting because we do see in terms of like the Europa myth, there's the celestial white bull. So yeah, it just kind of like, it made me think in a reverse psychology sense of like the rock, because Taurus is also described as the rock. So yeah, like, do you carve a man into like this diamond version of the earth, all pebbled out and cut and slabbed and mountainous, and like in a weird Capricornian, feminine, inky, transhumanistic way, and then you call it the rock? Like, I'm just saying, like, this whole divine androgyne notion that like we were like two-sexed or bisexual or two-souled or whatever, like, there's just them separating our light from our darkness. Once again, like, check out Gigi Young and tread cautiously in the University of Cosmic Intelligence. There are some gems there, but Um, Here's my opinion on that. I don't live in America, so I live in South Africa, and that's all I have to say for any of my American audience or Black American audience in particular. Not because I'm disavowing anything that Rashad Jamal says or that whatever the Lumashi that you guys have been experiencing as syncretic to what he says, as true, because like I can see it, you know, but just like for my own pole eyes of my thoughts ma'ating right now with the lunar freeze of myself trying to be librarian and include the notes that hits everybody where it counts, not because I'm trying to take jabs at everybody or like carve anybody out with my Ashlesha tongue or my serpentine sword of fire, um or my cherubim. I don't know, because like I fell for this stuff, you know, like I wanted to believe it. I wanted to turn myself into those images and likenesses, and it's like I would mentally like, you know, that's why I talk about the mermaid spirit as a makara, as a chimera, or as a anima turned against you, or like, you know, your niriti split from your aditi, and all these notions that like I feel like our sages have left for us, and now them having a handle on like the libraries of Alexandria and the like necropolises of the Romes and the Vaticans and the just like Jerusalems and like all these buried rocks and hidden girls, and then men are birthed in those images as like the priests and cult leaders and images of like the gods, but we know like the countries are built on women, like it's the Sabine raping spirit of Jupiter Zeus doing this Abraxas pentagram magic, setting Saturn in a castrated Uranian angle through the pleromic light of forms, and it is that Plato's cave refracting into you that we saw. Even the background of that, I don't even remember what I said, but it was like, I think I was discussing like right ascension of meridian and the 6 and the 9 and then in the background there came this narrative and self-perception notion. So like check out my videos when I refer to something, because I'm constantly drawing from myself, and also with my natal chart synthesis it's like telling me like, you know, systematize knowledge, bring down knowledge that hasn't been known before, make the connections and personalize them, use your imagination, use your unashamed truth, um, bring the Uranus with the Neptune in the second house, put the Uranus into Aquarius, keep Neptune on the cusp of Capricorn. Like I came through with those alignments, you know. I had to go through life and learn, okay, you have this channel and that thing. But even on YouTube, the way my YouTube, I can take screenshots of it. I can literally randomly select just the fact that, okay, I thought of this, that, and that. I know it's there, but now it's like a whole fucking lot, and I'm just like, ugh, into the Filmora app. Then I go to the AI thing, then I go to the like Canva, then I go to like, because it's like I want to go so fast, and then like before I export the video, if I can, if I'm not trying to rush for the load shedding and the Wi-Fi being disconnected, um, then I will watch it through and then kind of like adjust certain pictures or enlarge or just or crop something better or whatever I feel like I can do when I put an editing eye to it. But even if I just left it unedited, some of the stuff just like, it's like the Matrix fills in the gaps for me of where I was wanting to go and what I was wanting to say. And I'm just super appreciative of even like the comments that I've been getting from people that I look up to. I've gotten a comment from Scorpio Oxman. I've gotten from Formscapes. It's been like really motivating for me to feel like, wow, I'm perhaps not as discombobulated as I've been thinking, because I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of like sinking in the Get Out scene there for a moment. Just within myself, and within the tower moment of my whole Punarvasu journey, even being able to like birth this YouTube channel, as a representation of myself, as an image and likeness, as a carving out of like what goes on within me. Because I am very private, even though I'm a Gemini. Like, I have this Scorpio energy to like rein it in environmentally, just based on what my feelers are, and I can do the like I put out what you put in type of thing as well, and I can go very deep with people. And today I just kind of like had to kind of like also just respond to a comment in terms of just for myself, like I felt like I needed to like have a certain boundary. Just in terms of like what the comment told me, right? But the boundary that I was seeking was like not being disconnected, because at the end of the day, I didn't want this person to revere me if I still wasn't like on the right track, and I'm still duped and I'm still disconfoculated. I'm gonna be using that word a lot because, yeah, Kendra King, you posted the cipher that I got from Slick Dissident on your Instagram, like unreferenced. So yeah, we're all just stealing I ams, and it's like so conniving, and it's so hasta to the soul of everything my Lilith has been just knowing all my life. Like, I could literally see, okay, my mom acts like her mom in this moment, to my um or like I acted like my mom in this moment, or I acted like my dad in this moment, and oh my god, I would have like psychological meltdowns about that stuff. But like this water has memory thing, and just the aerial of the connections of all of that, when we see the Kabbalistic tree of life with Neptune as opposed to Neptune at the crown, as opposed to the earth at the root. The fact that my mastering the zodiac Neptune is in Sag, and it actually like almost like basically becomes part of my like first house, and because I'm a Fucus rising in the normal time of my birth date, but in my human design, let's just say my soul floated upon the face of the waters, and I was like, what can I braid out of this DNA memory for as an experience for my own recapitulation, and as a game for my consciousness to just figure out life and stuff. And now I'm just like so in love with myself, because it's like, oh my god, I've been knowing this is what it's gonna all be about. I've been knowing that it was gonna be like magical and adventurous, and there's always a hidden clue and an escape room around every corner. I'm literally looking at the Orion constellation right now, and like, was that Sirius? Was it not Venus? Is it the heliacal rising of Sirius that we are seeing? Did I confuse it for Venus? Let me just pull up my stellarium. Um, ouchie, I just stubbed my toe. Maybe I did a Piscean Utrabhadrapadian Ananti of the deep bride stealing of trying to pull wisdom from the deepest healing of myself. Because this stuff literally, like, I feel like it regenerates me. Like, even like the way my voice has been clearing up, the way my clarity has been clearing up. You know, I'm not like usually the type of person that wants to like externalize these things in terms of like how I feel, you know. Like I love to just like create like the mind game of just the riddle of myself, right? And I'm like recreating it like almost like as something here on YouTube. And it's like, you know, like just like my whole channel, I want it to be like my vibe, you know, everything that's in my community posts, everything that I like, the way I use my words, the way I use my art, the way I use my tools, um, the way I use my sources, all of that, you know. I want to be able to be unashamedly manipulative and in the sense that like because I've done my homework, I've built it into my internal Venus in Cancer Mula identity and split of myself, because to my parents I am their Jeshta, I am their eldest, you know. And funnily enough, I have a very tall white brother and a very tall black brother, and they are both racehorses onto a life of their own. And I am like the mixed one in the middle. Like I'm the caramel. And it's just like, am I the, like, the Cam or the MAC? Or am I the L? You know, and like, my second name is Ethan. That's very Ethan. That's very ether. That's very strength. It's very Uranus fire. It's very theos, ethos, ethanol, volatile. So yeah, I'm just thinking like, have I been doing myself in by thinking I invoke the Holy Spirit? And that's why my ideas were so full of holes and just like these bubbles and altars and idolatries of bowls and altars, like trying to like, you know, like Mercury having that bowl and then like bringing a sphere out of that into like the four directions of the earth and be like, I've just saged the whole space with my like orgasmic semen of creation, because like all I can really do is like, I tell you, I see men. Like I see goats, I see Capricorns, I see mermaids, I see divas, I see androgynes, I see all the words, right? But in a very like real way and not in this like fantastical fiction way. But like it's fiction and it's stories and it's narratives. Like it's so bizarre and I fucking love it. What's up, guys? So I just like forgot again something that I wanted to say. Um, so just the idea of serpent poison and the horse and the body of the horse creating the antivenom. It just also made me think of like the way the divas are used to kind of like soften these coarser words. Even if they have a coarse and raspy voice, they somehow know how to blend it well and do all these things with it, right? Um, like even if the nodule Jupiterian growth Saturn Mar ring chain of notes doesn't always appear. They have to sleep for it or be humidified and away from smoke, represented by Ketu, which is that constrictive element that introduces the Purva Ashada. I almost want to say the Aphrodite Cypress Keto moment of Venus's birth into form, if you've been following along with the cipher, right? So just the fact that the deciphering and the rainbow and serpent of like above and below come together in an inverted way of a what would have been an otherwise natural countertenor. Now they preserve the boy range and then like invert to like the timbral capacities and harmonic coloring range of a woman, and then still even more expand upon it with like the bull and the Taurus that adds all of that, as we've been saying, like Jala Tattva Shrim to this Shakti magnetism, serpent, mushroom, chimeric, psychedelic, androgynous, divine, dream, and just the Kots and the Rohinis and the carriers and the marred Rayas, buried girls, that create these inverted tree of life, serpent fire altars for us as idols, and them singing certain words, having certain lyrics, being very famed for it, and then having a whole world famous trial, or like living out the birth chart like in this very literal, I'm a reflection of every word, stereotype, every truth, untruth, neutral type of thing, which is just very silver-footed Aphrodite and that duplicitous nature that she is described in the Olympian. You know, Zeus literally had to tell her to like get your foot out of that Ares Athene battle, which was very interesting because when we look at the Thunderbolts project, Velikovsky's theory expressed there, the Mars, it became kind of like dysmorphic and then it became reassembled again, and that's why it's warrior, never give up. Spirit is immortalized in the Orion Obatala return of the Christos. So it's just like, it's very interesting because like we do know that they can kind of like wake up, right? And notwithstanding whatever was surgically done, consented to, not consented to, known was a difference between them and other biological kids who they grew up to look like. It's just like, I don't know that world of, you know, Shatabishak, but like my Uranus channels it tropically, and my Shravana listening star Uranus through the other placements, and just like wherever it is, it doesn't even like matter to me, but like it matters to me to like express it to you guys who are perhaps also still learning to figure out what your chart means, because I also had the thought of like, just like how those lights come together with the pull and the Gnostic Archon demiurge notion that tries to prey upon it, where my cipher kind of like even castrated the high E to form an L. So yeah, like allow me to place a Lepus like trail of like clues, like my name's like horse. Like she said she was very hoarse. One morning I woke up, I was like, I don't know, maybe in fifth grade, and I would wake up and I couldn't speak. I would sound like this. And then I would also be like, but I can't talk. No, 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 no. And I was in that range. And my mother said, what are you doing? And I was like, I don't know. And she was like, stop it. You're going to hurt your voice. You shouldn't be doing that. Da, 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 da. And when I would really learn how to do it, um, she would tell me, what, you're hitting above a high C and a this and a that and all these notes and things, and I don't even really understand, but that's what she would say. And just the way she said it, oh my gosh, guys, they've been telling us